Hello and welcome to the official guide for IST, IntelliPad School of Technology Exam 2025. In this video, I am going to cover everything from A to Z about the IST exam. What is the syllabus, what kind of question you can expect and how to prepare for the exam end to end. So first things first, what's the importance of IST examination? See, the IST entrance test will basically enable you to get admission into IntelliPad School of Technology. Beyond that, if you score really good in IST, you also become entitled to a scholarship. So if you're looking to minimize your fees, you need to take this test very seriously. Now that you guys have clarity about why you need to prepare for IST, let's talk a bit about how the IST exam is conducted. IST is an online proctored exam, which means you can take it from anywhere if you have stable internet connectivity. And since the exam is in proctored mode, while taking the examination, you have to make sure that you're sitting in an environment where too much disturbance or noise is not there to have a seamless examination experience. The test is MCQ based, so you will not have to write anything. Just choose the right option and you're good to go. You will get plenty of time, that is 1 hour, to answer a total of 30 to 35 multiple choice questions, which carry 2 marks each. So you can dedicate around more than 1.5 minutes per question. Now let me walk you through the syllabus around which you will face question in IST exam. IST exam consists of 4 main sections. First is quantitative aptitude, which contains 10 questions. Second is logical reasoning, which also contains 10 questions. Then third is basic pseudocode question, which is focused on computer science fundamental, which will contain around 5 to 10 questions. And last is verbal ability section, which will also contain around 5 questions. Now let's deep dive into each section one by one to see the type of questions generally asked and free learning resource from which you can prepare. Now let's talk about the quantitative aptitude section of IST. What topics are asked, what kind of question to expect, and the core concepts you need to prepare. Quant section of IST exam is based on the general math that all of us learn by class 10th grade itself. This topic will kind of check your ability to build logic, which is a very important thing that candidates needs to be able to write a code. On your screens, you will be able to see all the topics around which the questions can come in the IST test under the quant segment. We will talk about all of them one by one. The first one is number theory and divisibility. You might get questions like how many numbers from 1 to 200 are either divisible by 3 or 5. Or you can get questions like find the number of trailing zeros in the 100 factorial. And this number theory is asked because it is essential for coding, cryptography and digital system. Now let's see the explanation of the first question. We have to find how many numbers between 1 and 200 are divisible by both 3 and 5. Now think about it. If a number is divisible by both 3 and 5, it must be divisible by 15. Why? Because 3 cross 5 is 15. So the real question becomes how many multiples of 15 are there between 1 and 200. Simple steps. The first multiple is 15, then 30, 45, 60 and 75 and so on. We just have to find out how many such multiples are there up to 200. Now if we divide 200 by 15, we will get 13.33. That means there are 13 full multiple of 15 between 1 and 200. So the answer is 13 numbers. To clear this section, you will need to understand divisibility rules, LCM, SCF, prime numbers and factorization, the inclusion-exclusion principle and modular arithmetic to tackle the question around this topic. Next covers speed, time and distance. Example question include a runner can complete a 750-meter race in 2.5 minutes. Will he be able to beat another runner who runs at 17.95 km per hour? Or two people start biking from the same point at different speed. Will they meet? Since you have gone through Newton's mechanics in class 11, this topic will be the easiest for you to crack. Let's see one sample explanation for the first question. We are given that first runner can complete a 750-meter race in 2 minutes and 30 seconds, or you can say 150 seconds. So the speed of first runner becomes 750 by 150, which is 5 meter per second. We convert this speed to kilometer per hour by multiplying it by 18 by 5. So the speed of first runner becomes 18 kilometer per hour. Also, we are given that the speed of the second runner is 17.95 km per hour. Therefore, the first runner can beat the second runner. Important topic which you should focus here is unit conversion, for example, kilometer per hour to meter per second. Average and relative speed, especially for trains and boats. And then focus on time taken to cross object type of questions like poles, bridges and platform. Then next important topic is probability. So, a couple of typical questions could be like, tickets number from 1 to 20 are mixed up, then a ticket is drawn at random. What is the probability that the ticket drawn has a number which is multiple of 3 or 5? Or if you will roll 2 dice, what's the probability of getting a total of 9? This topic is super important in data science and AI, where you are constantly dealing with prediction and uncertainty. Sample answer to the first question would be, we have 20 tickets from numbered 1 to 20. So our sample space is 20. To find the probability that ticket drawn has a number which is multiple of 3 or 5, we first list the multiple of 3, which is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 and 18. Then multiple of 5, which is 5, 10, 15 and 20. But since 15 is repeated, the unique numbers are 3, 5, 6, 9, 10, 12, 15, 18 and 20, giving us 9 favorable outcomes. The probability is then calculated as the ratio of favorable to the total number of outcomes. So the answer becomes 9 by 20. To prepare, you should also know concepts like conditional probability based theorem and how to handle dependent event. Moving ahead, you might expect questions from compound interest, which is another core topic. Questions could be, at what rate of compound interest per annum a sum of rupees 1200 becomes rupees 1348.32 in 2 years, which is very simple. Or you can get, if the CI earned in 3 years is rupees 462 at 7%, what was the principal? Question would be basic, what you have learned in class 10, and questions like this can easily be done using formula of compound interest, what you have learned previous. Learn both CI and SI formula and difference between yearly and half yearly compounding. Again, one more important topic is time and work. In time and work, you will get questions like a man can do work in 20 days and a woman in 15 days. If they work together for 5 days, then the fraction of work that is left is, or if C does a job in 10 days, but with D they can finish it in 6. How fast is D alone? Now let's see the sample of the first question. So the man's 1 day work is 1 by 20. Woman's 1 day work is 1 by 15. So man plus woman total 1 day work is 1 by 20 plus 1 by 15, which is equals to 7 by 16. So man plus woman's 5 days total work is 7 by 60 into 5, which is 7 by 12. Thus the remaining work is 1 minus 7 by 12, which is 5 by 12. Now some of the important topics you should cover here is efficiency method, work by day, LCM approach to solve problem, pipes and cisterns, analogy, negative work for example leak problem. Then you might have solved questions around ratio of work men and women and work distribution among multiple workers. Next is super important topic, Venn diagram and data interpretation. Sample problem includes, in a class of 30 students, 18 like apple, 12 like orange. If 5 students like both, how many students like neither apple nor oranges? Or analyze a pie chart showing monthly expenses and answer the questions. These questions build your skills in analyzing data, key for business and analytics jobs. Make sure you're comfortable with percentages, overlaps, tables and graph. Talking about the sample answer to the first question. So in a class of 30 students, 18 like apples, 12 like oranges and 5 like both. To find out how many students like neither, we first add the students who like apple and oranges and then subtract those who like both to avoid double counting. So 18 plus 5 minus 12, which is 25. Student like either apple or oranges. Since there are 30 students in total, the number of students who like neither is 30 minus 25, which is 5 students. You can also visualize this question by making Venn diagram. The next section we have is trigonometry and calculus. You will encounter question like find the second derivative for the function f of x is equals to x to the power 4 plus 3x to the power 3 minus 5x square plus 6x minus 2. Or a zip wire run between two posts 25 meter apart. The zip is at angle of 10 degree to the horizontal. Calculate the length of zip wire. So firstly we'll find the first derivative, which is 4x cube plus 9x square minus 10x plus 6 minus 0. Then we will find the second derivative, which would be 12x square plus 18x minus 10, which would be your answer. So in this section, study basic trigonometric ratios, sine, cos, tan, Pythagorean reciprocal cofunction identities, angle sum difference identities, law of sines and law of cosines, then inverse trigonometric functions like finding angles. In calculus, study limits and continuity, differentiation, power rule and chain rule, application of derivatives, maxima and minima, integration, indefinite and definite, then application of integrals, area and volume. Finally, series and sequence are about finding patterns. Examples, find the next term in the sequence 1, 13, 11, 47. Or what's the sixth term in the sequence 2, 5, 10, 17. Which will help problem solving in programming and logical building. Learn to spot patterns, calculate nth term, or handle arithmetic and geometric progression. Or general term, nth term, identification, Fibonacci and mixed quotient. Now let me summarize the major chapter in quantitative aptitude around which you are most likely to face questions in your interview. The first is number system and divisibility rule. Second, simplification and approximation. Third, percentage profit and loss. Fourth, ratio and proportion. Fifth, time, speed and distance. Sixth, time and work. Seventh, simple and compound interest. Eighth, probability. Ninth, permutation and combination. 10th, sequence and series. 11th, mensuration, in which you will face questions like area, volume, etc. 12th, data interpretation, table, graph and chart. Then 13th, set theory, in which you will face questions around Venn diagram. Then 14th, algebra, in which you will face basic equation and inequality. Then trigonometry, logical analytic reasoning. Now coming to resources from where you can practice these questions. You can practice aptitude by using websites like IndiaBix, aptitudetest.com, or by preparing from any quantitative aptitude books for CAT. The question you will encounter will be quite similar to those asked in the CAT exam. So it's a great way to get prepared. Now moving ahead with logical reasoning section. Logical reasoning is very important in BTech because engineering is all about solving problem. Whether you're working on a machine, writing code, or designing something new, you need to think clearly step by step. Logical reasoning helps you break big problems into smaller ones and find smart solution. That is why it is taught and tested. It builds the kind of thinking every good engineer needs in real life. Now let us see what kind of question to expect. First up, odd one out or classification, which trains your mind to spot anomalies similar to debugging and anomaly detection. You will get question like which item doesn't belong to a particular group, or spot the different day or object. And honestly, these are quite similar to the basic classification exercises you did in class 10th and 12th. For example, you might get questions like choose the odd one out from first dollar, then second peso, then third ounce, and then fourth euro. Now the answer would be ounce, option 3. Why? Because all except ounce are the names of currency, while ounce is a unit of weight. Next is coding decoding. You might get questions like if CAAT is decoded as DBU, what is the code for dog? Or in a certain code, apple is written as BQQMF, how will mango be written? Coding decoding is asked because it sharpens logical thinking and simulates how encryption or data encoding works in real-world programming and cybersecurity. Now let us see the explanation of the question. So we are given the cat is coded as DBU. Let's break it down letter by letter. So C is written as D, C is the third letter and D is the fourth, meaning +1 shift. A is written as B, A is the first and B is the second. So +1 shift. Then again similarly for T, T is 20th, U is 21st. So +1 shift. So the pattern here is each letter is shifted forward by 1 in the alphabet. Now let us apply same for the dog. So D becomes E, O becomes P and G becomes H. So dog becomes EPH. To master this topic, you will need to be comfortable with alphabet positions A equals to 1 to Z equals to 26, forward and backward shifting, reversal logic and even symbol or number letter conversions. Practicing these regularly will help you crack pattern based puzzles easily in the exam. Then comes number and pattern series, where you predict the next number or letter. You might get questions like what comes next in the series 2, 6, 12 or 20, or find the missing number in the pattern 5, 11, 17, 23. Number and pattern series is asked because it builds logical thinking, sequence prediction and mathematical intuition, which are crucial skills for algorithm design and AI. Now let's see the explanation of the first question. We are given the series 2, 6, 12, 20. Let's find the pattern. 2 becomes 6, where the difference is 4. 6 becomes 12, difference is 6. 12 becomes 20, difference is 8. The difference between numbers is increasing by 2 each time. 4, 6, 8. Following this pattern, the next difference should be 10. So 20 plus 10 equals to 30. Thus the next number in the sequence is 30. To ace this topic, you need to practice difference method, multiplication patterns, square, cube patterns, alphabetical number patterns regularly. These are very similar to the logical reasoning problems you solved back in the school board exam, just with a little more complexity. Then we have blood relation questions, where you untangle who is related to whom. Help improve your visualization skills exactly like the family tree question you may have practiced before. You might get questions like, he is the son of the only brother of my mother. Who is he to me? The answer would be cousin. Or A is B's father. How is A related to B? The answer would be uncle. Blood relation question tests your ability to visualize and logical trace family connection, just like the family tree puzzles. Now let us break down the first question. He is the son of the only brother of my mother. The only brother of your mother is your maternal uncle. So his son would be your cousin. And to solve such problems easily, you must understand generation level like parents, sibling, grandparents, relationship types like uncle, cousin, nephew, parental versus maternal side, and gender identifiers, his, her, daughter, son. Drawing a quick family tree diagram while solving can help you avoid confusion and get accurate answers faster. Then we have ranking and position problems. Questions involve figuring out who stands where in a row or queue. Again, something you have seen in school level reasoning tests, but now with a sharper edge, you might get questions like Ria is 12th from left in a row of 30 students. What is her position from the right? Or Raj is 15th from the left and 10th from the right. So how many total number of students are there? Ranking and position questions test your ability to quickly figure out position, just like you did in basic school reasoning test. So key concept you must know here are total number of people equals to left plus right minus 1, or how to find middle position, solve for position swaps and handle ranking overlaps. And here are 10 most important logical reasoning topics that are frequently asked in competitive exams and are especially useful for BTech students preparing for placement and other tests. Seating arrangement, linear and circular, puzzles, floor-based, box-based, blood relation, direction sense, syllogism, statement and conclusions, coding, decoding, number and alphabet series, ranking and order, data sufficiency. Now moving to our section 3, we have basic pseudocode question in which you may face a wide range of output based question. All the topics I'm about to cover are the ones you've already studied in your class 11th and 12th computer science syllabus. But for IST preparation, it is important to sharpen your understanding and apply them smartly. So first you need to be confident with loop. For example, for, while loop, understand how loop condition works and how many times they run and how variable update during each iteration. Then comes conditional statement. For example, if and else, where decision making happens. Here you should be comfortable by combining multiple conditions using and or not, especially inside loops. Next is accumulated logic, where you're often asked to calculate a sum or product during iteration. Knowing how to initialize and update these values is a key. You will also face mathematical algorithm questions like factorial, Fibonacci, or checking prime numbers. You have already written these programs before. Now you will be interpreting their logic. Another critical area is flow of control, which is all about understanding the order of execution, where loop starts and ends, and how decision affect the path of the program. Lastly, variable tracing or dry run is very crucial. This is the ability to follow how each variable changes line by line through the codes. Mastering these areas will give you an edge in solving an output based and logic heavy question in IST efficiently and accurately. Now let us look at some of the similar output based question which you can expect in your exam. So you might be seeing a block of code on the screen. You have to tell me the output of this particular code. The code is set x equals to y, set y equals to 3, and if x mod y equals to 2, print s, else print no. So the answer would be yes. So in this question, we are given two numbers, right? X is 5 and y is 3. The code checks, does the remainder of 5 divided by 3 equals to 2? Well, 5 divided by 3 gives 1 with a remainder of 2. That means the condition is true, and so the program prints yes. This one is just about understanding how modulus operator works. So the concept involved here is conditional logic, decision making based on a condition, then control flow, which chooses one block, yes or no, based on whether condition is true. Now moving ahead with our next question, which is set sum equals to 0 for I from 1 to 3. Set sum equals to sum plus bracket I mod 2, end for, and then print sum. So the answer would be 2. So in the second question, we loop from 1 to 3. And check for each number. We check I mod 2, which tells us the number is odd. If the number is odd, which is I mod 2 equals to 1, otherwise it's 0. So let us break it down. When I equals to 1, I mod 2 equals to 1. When I equals to 2, 2 mod 2 equals to 0. And when I equals to 3, 3 mod 2 equals to 1. We add those up, 1 plus 0 plus 1, which equals to 2. So the final answer printed is 2. This one helps you understand how loops and condition work together. Then similarly, question 3 is set fact equals to 1 for I from 2 to 3, set fact equals to fact into I, end for, and then print fact. The answer would be 6. How? In this code, a for loop is used to calculate a value. First fact is set to 1, then the loop runs from I equals to 2 to 3. In the first step of the loop, fact becomes 1 cross 2 equals to 2. In the second step, fact becomes 2 cross 3 equals to 6. After the loop ends, the code prints the value of fact, which is now 6. So basically, this code is calculating 2 cross 3, which gives the final answer 6. What are the concepts involved? Looping, which repeats from 2 to 3, multiplication in loops, and then initialization and updation. Question 4 is set a equals to 0. For I from 1 to 4, if I mod 2 equals to 0, set a equals to a plus I, end if, end for, and then print a. The answer would be 6. The code initializes a to 0 and loops I from 1 to 4 inside the loop. It checks if I is even using I mod 2 equals to 0. If the condition is true, it adds I to a. So when I is 2 and 4, the even numbers a becomes a plus 2, which is equals to 2, and then a plus 4 equals to 6. The odd values 1 and 3 are skipped. Finally, it prints the value of a. The concept involved here is looping, iterates from 1 to 4, modulus with condition, I mod 2 equals to 0, check if I is even, and then selective addition. Only even numbers 2 and 4 are added. So So that is all for the pseudocode section. Moving to the last section, which is verbal aptitude. And don't worry, this part is based entirely on grammar and vocab you have already studied in class 10 to 12. It's not about heavy literature or rare words, it's more about how well you understand English uses, grammar and logic behind word choices. So here's a simple breakdown of what you will face and how you can prepare smartly. First is vocabulary uses and synonyms, antonyms. This section tests how well you know the meaning of words and their opposites. You will be asked questions like what is the antonym of generous, and you will get 4 options and you need to pick one that means the opposite, like selfish. Revise common word pair from school level vocab list and try using them in your own sentence to remember them better. Then you can face sentence completion or fill in the blanks. These question test both your vocab and grammar. So example, he was very tired so he went to bed, then dash. Options might be immediately, loudly, softly, never. You will need to choose the word that makes the sentence meaningful and grammatically correct. Then read the full sentence carefully. The blank must match the tone and logic of the rest of the sentence. Then you can face analogy or word relationship. These are fun ones, you can get the hang of them. You're given 2 related words and must find a similar pair. For example, teacher is to school is equals to, the answer would be doctor is to hospital. Here the logic is profession to workplace. Think of what links the two words. Is it a profession, action, category, or purpose? Then we have spotting errors or sentence correction. This is a pure grammar. A sentence will have a grammatical mistake and you need to just spot it. For example, he don't like coffee. The error is don't. It should be doesn't. Revise subject verb agreement, tenses, articles and prepositions. These are the most common traps. Then we have part of speech or grammar rule. This is like your foundation. Knowing what's a noun, verb, adjective, adverb, etc. is super important, especially for error spotting and sentence correction. And what's the tip? Practice by labeling part of speech in simple sentences. And with that, we come to the end of our IST exam guide. Remember, the key to success is consistent practice. Make sure to practice every day, and with enough effort, you will easily clear the exam. Stay focused, stay committed, and you will do great. All the very best. Thank you and see you in the next video.